Hello, welcome to the first Curry Club podcast, and my name's Steve Kettle. So I've run the Curry Club now for around about 20 years, and I've got two guests with me today. One is Salim, who's from Glossy Magazine, and Salim has been with me for many, many years attending the Curry Club, and I've also got Hannah with me from Knutsford, and Hannah's recently attended a Curry Club, the first one that we've done in Knutsford, and so yeah, it's good to meet you both. And Hannah, just tell us a little bit about Seen Knutsford and how you got into it.
Seen in Knutsford is a website and social media platforms that mostly Instagram and Facebook that promotes the whole of Knutsford, the town, what goes on in the town, the events, the people, and anything Knutsford really.
Okay, and Hannah, I believe you're known for your reels, actually, aren't you? The super reels, which Hannah did a really nice reel for me at the launch of our Knutsford Curry Club, which was at Eastham Revive just a month ago, and beautifully put together, Hannah.
Thank you very much.
And it's not really my area of expertise, but I think we got a lot of views, didn't we?
We did, yes, indeed, yes. So it was a collaboration. So I took the video and put the reel together and then collaborated with the Curry Club, which I think is a great way of promoting both sides with social media. Yes, it went on my Instagram and Facebook page as well as the Curry Club. And yeah, we got quite a few views out of that one, which was great.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that's great. And my other guest is Salim. We go back a long way.
Oh, we do.
And it's interesting, actually, because it's Salim, actually, that got me sort of back into the South Manchester networking scene after COVID. We're all doing them on Zoom, obviously. And he called me up and said, you used to do a few curry clubs over in South Manchester. Why don't we get them going again? I'll help you to promote them through his fantastic magazine, which is called Glossy. So tell us a bit about the magazine, how you got into it, and what sort of people read it. There you go.
How long have we got here? So 23 years ago, my wife and I embarked on a journey. I was working in commercial radio, and Beverly worked in newspapers for the Manchester Evening News. And we had 3 children quite close together. And we just thought, that corporate life, work-life balance, how do we sort of address that? And we just thought, let's launch a magazine. And we never did it to become publishers or start an empire. And I remember coming home after Beverly had started the magazine, and Sarah, who was 2 at the time, going, Daddy. And I put the key in the door, and Beverly's gone, what have you done? Well, I've just resigned. So, and then, for the last 23 years, just treated it as another job, picking up the phone, making calls, predominantly selling advertising, because that's what I do for a living. And then that conversation, you and I, Steve, we actually met at Costa in Henforth Dean.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
I remember just after COVID, we sat down and I said, you've got this great thing, the Curry Club. Let's get it back on. Let's get that going again. I think a collaboration was key. Today's whole podcast has come through the Curry Club and the collaboration.
Yeah. I mean, we used to do the Curry Club in South Manchester for many years, and then COVID stopped it, didn't it? And we thought, well, there's definitely a market for it. Getting back face to face as well is important, isn't it? And
100%.
And meeting people in person. I found it quite difficult. The Zoom calling. I'm more of a face to face person, and and so we've now basically got 3 in the South Manchester. So we've got one going in Hale, as the first one, and
Gup
then
Shop.
we've rolled a Gup Shop, and then so these are bi-monthly events, and then we got one sort of launched in Winslow. It's been going about a year now.
Eastham
Revive, and then we decided that we'd look at opening up one in Knutsford, and that's where I met Hannah. And so Hannah, what's the networking scene like in Knutsford? I mean, I didn't know when I launched this how many other ones had restarted again.
Yeah, there are a few. There's a great one called Knutsford Women in Business, which is very relaxed, and there's a lot of Knutsford's got a lot of sole traders, a lot of ladies who have started up their own business, either having had the children or just fancy a career change or anything like that. So that's a great one. And then there is Network Knutsford that meets, and that's part of the Chamber of Commerce, and that meets on a second Wednesday it is of the month, very early in the morning at the lovely Knutsford Tea Room. And then obviously, yes, there's the Curry Club, which is it's a completely different format, and that's what I do like about the Curry Club, because it was something over lunch, and I love the way you had an hour right at the beginning to to network and mingle and meet people, and also each one of those different networking events. Actually, different people go to each one, which I think is a really key thing, because obviously you're meeting. We have the ladies, the Network Knutsford one through the Chamber of Commerce is again a completely different group, and then again there's the Curry Club. So they're the three main ones I would say in Knutsford at the moment.
Okay. Because I was a bit worried when I spoke to you first. You said that they're a bit nervous in Knutsford about something new starting up. They're a bit cautious and who's this? What's this Curry Club? And and so I think the first one I really enjoyed it, and the fact that we had the restaurant to ourselves as well.
Yeah,
I thought it was very good for Easter.
Yes, it was.
To open up and they probably had four staff there.
Yeah,
and I think we had was it about 30, something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a good mix, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was.
It was a good mix of people. The bit I like as well, when you've got that sort of size group, is that you can give everybody sort of a minute to just say who they are and what they do. I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel, but at least you get to know when you sit down for your meal. We just do a quick round the room and let everybody tells everybody what they do, which is good.
No, it was good. The format was good. It really worked. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
So can I just say, Steve, on that point, we talk about networking, we talk about going out meeting people and that type of thing. On the back of the Knutsford one, I met up with can I say Gemma's name?
That was Gemma. Yeah, Gemma.
So it was through Gemma that I needed to get to another contact, which is a reputable house building company. I won't mention the name.
Okay.
And I just thought, okay. Gemma goes, I've got no budget. And I said, I'm not trying to sell you anything, but let's meet for a coffee. And then on the back of the Curry Club, I've sponsored Gemma's balloons for her charity ball for the Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor.
The Lord Mayor balloon.
The Knutsford Mayor.
Oh, the Knutsford Mayor, sorry.
Yeah, the lovely Colin Batt.
Absolutely. So, and that's my way of saying to Knutsford, Glossy Magazine's here. We want to be part of the community. We're here to help. We're not just here to just trying to flog you space that you don't need. And Gemma hasn't sent me that lead, by the way. Gemma, can you sharpen that pencil?
So where, just in terms of Glossy now, what sort of demographics is it? Where does Glossy go to?
That's a good question.
Station location.
I wonder myself sometimes. I'm joking. We've just launched into Stockton Heath, and I kid you not, Stockton Heath, because predominantly we started off as Didsbury Magazine with Didsbury, and then we moved into Hale and Bowden with Hale and Bowden Magazine.
Yeah.
And then we had a Wimslow Magazine, a Knutsford Magazine, a Prestbury Magazine, Alderley Edge, Media City, and then COVID hit, and then we just thought, let's just rebrand it as one magazine, because then the people in Didsbury wouldn't feel alienated from the people in Knutsford, and it's all within 15-20-minute drive. So we've just put them into Stockton Heath, because Stockton Heath is a fabulous little village, and there was a demand there because they don't have anything apart from that other magazine that's out there. And one of my contacts at John Lewis, who goes to the hairdressers in Stockton Heath, goes, here's a picture of your magazine in Stockton Heath. Great, you've finally made it into Stockton Heath. So, which is great. And for a brand like John Lewis, who we've got on board, it's fabulous, because obviously community and local advertising is so important.
Yeah.
So Stockton Heath, welcome.
Right. That's good. Yeah. Well, I was just thinking in that there's an Eastern Revive, and we could definitely look at Stockton Heath, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we getting paid by Eastern Revive?
I know. Wazim.
Yes.
But that'd be great.
I often get asked about if they come to a curry club, what can they expect, actually? And so, what it is, it's very informal, very relaxed, and they're at lunchtime, as Hannah says. And what I say as well to people to benefit the most from it is if you can get there a little bit earlier, you pick up those, the early attendees, and you can have a chat with them, and then you've got your lunchtime as well to speak to people. And then I always say, if you can just stay behind for 10 or 15 minutes after, you often meet a few more people then. And I think that the difficulty that with the networking is that you often can get talking to someone for maybe half an hour, when really it's good to try and look at, say, I'm going to set my stall out to actually talk to 5 people, and during the event, 5 or 6 people, which is great. And then also what we do is we send a list out now prior to the event so that you can actually see who's attending, and you can sort of have a scan down and say, look, I'd like to chat to Salim. So, and everybody gets a badge, so it's got your name on, so absolutely. But actually, if you don't manage to speak to anybody, you can always sort of get in touch with us, and we'll put you in contact with.
So, Steve, on that point, there's so many networking groups out there that are so protective over the list of attendees. Yeah. I'm thinking, hang on, in order to keep this thing going and the longevity, you've got to make sure that, within GDPR compliance, and
that's right, yeah.
And by the Curry Club giving you the list prior, who to go and identify and try to go and speak to and form a relationship with. And sometimes people go there and they might meet an IFAs, and it's not that I need a pension, but their network of people, because the people investing, it's who they know.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's often you're talking to someone and they say, "Oh, I know somebody who could use you for this."
Absolutely.
So it definitely works. Yeah.
And the beauty, sorry, Steve, without it becoming like the other networking cults that's out there, the way you preside over the Curry Club, it's really, wouldn't you say, Hannah? It's very relaxed.
Extremely. It was really welcoming, and obviously there's the host at Knutsford. It's obviously the lovely Jem, and that was really helpful because there's somebody there meeting and greeting, making sure that the whole what to do at the beginning and handing out name badges and things like that. But yeah, Steve, I remember that you were very good at introducing the right people, which is how we two met, didn't we, Susan? So
yeah.
So that was a thing. But people are coming along to these networking events. They're giving up their time, as we know, time is precious, and also so they want to get something out of it. And I think that's where from yourself and for Jem to actually make those introductions, it was really handy, really helpful, and it looked like everyone got something out of out of the afternoon. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, and we normally go back to everybody as well and sort of ask them to connect with us on all the social media and LinkedIn, any comments they have that we can improve and things like that. So yeah, it's good. So just in terms of seeing Knutsford, Hannah, how do we get involved with that? Because I've been really impressed with what you do, and I had a look at your website, and you've done these fantastic reels for me. And we did a Q&A session.
We did
a week or 2 ago, but it's called Behind the Scenes.
Yeah.
So how do we work with Scene Knutsford? What can we do? How can we get involved?
To be fair, what I do is I always say with social media, it's not a one size fits all because everybody wants something different out of it. So my main selling point, really, I would say, is to actually speak to the people. And some people want help with Reels training, other people want to collab, so they'd like me, as I did with the Curry Club, to actually go along to an event and put together the reel for the social media pages. Some people just want to go on as a business listing onto the website and just going on there so that when people are looking for places to eat, bars and pubs, shops, their business is actually on there, and as a business listing, I also do I write a post as well to introduce the person.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing for Scene in Knutsford is that people say to me, I feel like I'm preaching to the same people on my social media. So by using me or the Scene in Knutsford Instagram page and the Scene in Knutsford website and the Scene in Knutsford Facebook page, what happens then is that you're reaching an audience that perhaps you haven't quite reached yet with your own social media. So sort of between the two of us, we can actually spread the word and reach more people. So, but yeah, it's kind of hard to pigeonhole it because so many people want different things. And as I say, whether it's training, a business listing, a reel, or just a bit of help. Sometimes I think people just get they almost don't post anything because they're so frightened, because they don't know what to post, and they get overwhelmed. And sometimes I just go in and go, well, as an outsider looking in, then I'm a potential customer. You know your business inside out, which is the right thing, but you might be missing one or two really key points that are probably, you think it's obvious, but to a potential customer it might not be. So I can look at it from a potential customer point of view, and I go, have you thought about this, or how about that? And the amount of times people go, oh my goodness, I'd never even thought that. And then and they say a lot of the time when I've done some training and social media help and things like that, they just say that people say, I'm inspired again. You've given me the inspiration and the lift I needed to get going again on my social media, because unfortunately, it is a necessary evil in business.
It is, isn't it? It is. A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm just still getting to understand the reels. I mean, I was watching them on Facebook, but then now on Instagram, we do
6 hours later.
We're probably doing 2 or 3 reels in a month now to the Curry Club, and I think they're brilliant. So I think they're getting quite shorter though, aren't they?
They are. Are they hitting it on the head there, Steve?
I mean, you look at the first one when I started looking, I think they're about 30 seconds long.
A reel now.
You should have got. Yeah, I know. I'm itching to get my phone out.
So what was a typical reel now? Is it 15 seconds?
Well, yeah, and it's quite funny you say that, because I've been talking to my daughter about this quite recently, and she was saying it's because of TikTok. So TikTok, obviously everything's so quick.
Yeah.
Reels now, she says to me, I get bored, so they have to be quite
30.
Yeah, she said. Well, I think if you probably hit them, if you're probably right with the 15 seconds, but and she said she wants to see a lot of information in a very short space of time. And this is what has happened with TikTok now. This is what, we were having this exact conversation. So, yes, they have got a little bit quicker. And people can always go back and rewatch it if they miss something. But you need to draw people in quite quickly to so they can continue watching. What is it? Something like 3 seconds, I think they say. If you're not drawing somebody in within the first 3 seconds, then they'll just... they'll swipe to the next one.
Move on to the next one, yeah.
It's quite crazy.
Right. So just with seeing Knutsford, it's online, is it? It's all online, basically.
Yeah. So it's the website is there, and I update that on a regular basis with events that are going on around Knutsford, and then obviously new business listings, and it's an ongoing process because there's a lot of businesses in Knutsford, and obviously I'm continually popping things on there, and then Instagram. Now I thought with Knutsford it would be Facebook that would when I
the demographic.
Yeah, because of the demographic I thought it'll be Facebook. It's actually Instagram that actually gets the most reach, so I'm constantly on there updating and sharing stories and news and everything else, because there's been lots going on in Knutsford recently, which is great.
So at that point, sorry Hannah, Instagram, followers or engagement?
Engagements, definitely, because the amount of people that say to me, I've only got 300 followers, and it's but if all 300 of those are going to be potential customers, and you've got 300 customers there, you could have 15,000, and not one of those is going to come into your shop or use your business. So it is, and it is about engagement as well, because and that's what Instagram does like.
What's a key to getting engagement?
I'm
trying to pick up something.
I think engaging with other accounts is a big one. Don't just pop something up there and expect people to come to you. You have to engage with other accounts, because it shows that you're interested in them as well. So
when you say other accounts,
so similar accounts to maybe what you're doing, or so other Instagram accounts or other businesses. So it's a bit like now I will share some of the Curry Club, your Instagram posts and things like that. Obviously we can, but we might chat on there as well, because I always think for social media it's called social for a reason, and it's you need to be sociable on there.
Yes.
And also, it's a way of having a conversation with somebody. And if somebody, and this is another key thing, I always think if somebody actually takes the time to not only like your post but make a comment on your post or your reel or whatever, then the other thing you should need to do is to actually respond to that, because it's a conversation. So it's like me talking to you now, and then you obviously would respond to me face to face. But if I talk to you on social media and then not respond back,
you think, oh,
yeah, it's rude. So you've lost. You might lose a follower over that. And as Salim said, it is, it's about the whole interaction, and it's not just about numbers.
No. Interesting, yeah. So Salim, Glossy is a free.
It's a free magazine.
Publication. We don't have to pay for it when we go down to Tesco or WH Smith or anything. It's not on the top. It's a free.
It's a free distribution.
Where can we find it? I mean, I often sort of look at supermarkets or booths or somewhere. Used to be somewhere you'd see. Where can we pick one up if we want?
So locally to you, Steve, Bowden. So that's my phone. Sorry, swatched off. Bowden, we do deliver to the selected homes in Bowden, Hale Barnes and Hale.
Right.
So you can pick it up Ashley Road. Most of the shops will have it.
Okay, in the actual shop.
In the actual shops, dentists, hairdressers, cafe bars. Same in Knutsford.
Oh, I've seen them in the bars in
Eastern Revive.
Knutsford, yeah.
So in the restaurants as well, yeah.
That's right. And then through the doors. And I think the lovely lady Amanda, John Lewis, saw it in a local hairdressers in Stockton Heath.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so
what's circulation?
So we do 18,000 copies.
18,000.
18,000. So we do 6,000 copies into Hale and Bowden, 6,000 into Disby, and then 6,000 into all the other villages.
Yeah.
Because Hale and Bowden and Disby get it through the doors.
Right. I get
only through heritage, not because it just. If we withdrew it from those areas, I think we might get a bit of a backlash. So difficult one.
Yeah.
But online as well, Glossy Magazine.
Right. Okay. So,
so the Steve Kettle interview.
Yeah.
And the next issue, everyone.
This year
will be online, so you can't get a physical copy.
Well, I like actually the feel of the magazine, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's one of those that's on the, I still had last month's. It was just gone into the magazine wrap this weekend. It was on the, nice feel to it, nice glossy, as the name suggests, a nice glossy feel to it.
We just thought, on that point, Steve, we just thought, if it came through our door, would we put it on the coffee table?
Absolutely. I'd say I'd endorse that, definitely would do.
Thank you. And apart from the way it feels and looks, it's got to be good content, and that's so important. Not just fill it up with adverts and that type of thing. Good content. Like, I know you do a lot of work with dentists, so one of our biggest sectors is healthcare. So again, female biased audience. So a lot of female health problems, plus male ones, because it's usually the lady, the wife, that will say to the husband, "You best go and get that checked out."
Yeah.
Blokes being blokes, don't go to the GP. It'll be all right. And then next thing you hear that, suddenly it's stage 4 cancer or something by a serious note. So it's got a bit heavy now.
I was going to say, we've talked quite a bit about us. What about you, Steve? Because how did you get involved in the curry?
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago. It probably is about, I think probably I started it. I took it over from a guy called Peter Boys in Manchester, and he was, he just sold his telecom business, and he said, I'd attended this curry club, and I sat next to him, and I said, "Well, who's gonna take over this?" So I said, "Well."
So where was it, Steve?
It was at Rajdut. Yeah, yes. And he said, I want to sail around the Mediterranean now for half of the year, and this, it's a monthly event, so I'm not going to be able to do it. So I just jumped in and said I'd take it over. And so
what year's about?
1996, probably, something like that.
Very bloke heavy. Being a curry club?
Yeah, it was at the time. Yeah, it was. But, now we find that there's a lot of ladies that do come now. It's, probably.
That was something that surprised me, actually, because I think, as you said, it's to look at the name and the concept, networking over a curry.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So it was lovely when I turned up to the Knutsford one. I think it was about 50-50, isn't it? Slightly more women there, weren't there? So, yeah, we weren't as much as anybody else.
And it's throughout all of them, Hannah, to be honest. It's the same. I mean, we've managed to, we had about 20 curry clubs going before COVID, all over the country. And then, it just, a lot of them was difficult to get restarted. But we've managed to get, we've been in London for 15 years now. I used to run that for, since its sort of inception, really. But I have a lady now that runs that for me. But that's getting typically 50 to 60 now every month, which is over at the Cinnamon Kitchen in Devonshire Square. And then we've had Milton Keynes going for about 8 years. Same lady that runs London runs that one. So I don't go round and run them all now. I'm more into actually letting somebody run their own, but we'll just deal with all the admin, the back end stuff, the website, the bookings. And obviously, like with Knutsford, we've got Gemma Gunn running it, and Sarah in Wimslow.
Yeah.
I tend to do the Hale one.
Right.
Because it's one I enjoy. It's local to me.
Stagger home.
And that's stagger home after that's my business development, social housing day. And then we've got one in Bristol, which we did have one before, then COVID sort of stopped it, but we've started that one again. And then I got some news on Friday from a firm of lawyers called Thackeray Williams based in London, in Kent, actually, in Bromley.
Nice.
And the lady that's she's got it signed off now to start one next year.
Oh, great!
And I'm going this week to meet the team and to look at the restaurant. So I generally find the restaurant, confirm all that. We get sponsors on board as well. So normally 2 to 3 sponsors per curry club, and then whoever's heading it up, they run that. We provide them with all the badges. But they run it. They're there on the day and they're the host. So that's kind of how we do it. So we're looking to open up more in 2025 for sure.
I was just going to say so if there wasn't a curry club in my particular area, for example, so what would I do how would I actually set one up?
Well, what you do is you say, look, I want to set one up in, let's say, locally here, Stockton Heath. And so what I'd say is that we really look to try and get 3 sponsors on board. There is a sponsorship package with benefits that we've got, and try and get sponsors that's got good synergy with each other so that they can work together. There's no conflict. And then what we do then is we sort of decide on a date we'd like to launch it. Normally you need about 3 months lead in time, and then we'd go and have a look at some restaurants, so 2 or 3 restaurants, just to make sure that they would be prepared to open for us. I discuss the price with the restaurateur, and then once that's done, we have a date to launch it, and then we start doing all the marketing. So, we would produce a flyer that the sponsors will send out. We get a banner sorted out, and we do
promote it on social media.
Promote it on social media, yeah. So it's easy. It's easy.
Membership.
It's easy, really. I mean, I've Zoe, who works for me, does all the admin and the back end stuff. The payments go through NetHub. It's really slick. You book, you pay, you get a receipt. Everything's all automated, just like booking a ticket for the theatre.
That's just it, because there's no membership, is there? It's all pay as you go.
Yeah.
You can
dip in, dip out.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
dip in there.
Yeah.
And typically, people, they enjoy it, but sometimes something else has come up and they can't make it. And so you get a good mix of people at each one, because, I think probably the average is one person comes every 3 months. You'll get some that come regular, and it's just that there's other things going on.
Of course.
Yeah.
And can I just say, to vouch for Steve here, and he's not paid me to say this, Friday night, 8 o'clock, phone goes, and I think, Steve, Mr. Kettle, because I'm just having dinner in this lavish restaurant in Hale. Do you want to speak to the owner? And hands me their phone.
Yeah. Well, I said to them, they were actually, it's a really tough one. They just opened up.
Right.
Very nice. Red carpet outside and everything. And I'm thinking, I'm going to give this a go. And I walk in, and it was a Friday, and it was about 8 o'clock. And I was looking around, I thought, it looks really quiet in here. Yeah, and I know they'd spent a lot on the refit, a lot of money. I looked round, I thought, this is nice. but there wasn't a lot of people there. And so I was chatting to the manager, and I said, look, I think you need to speak to Salim. Because, he's got the magazine and he can get, and he knows he's well connected. And so I just picked up the phone to Salim and passed the phone on to...
There and then, not like next Tuesday.
Choice.
Admin Affairs, which is great. I know, I did go and see about it.
Yeah. But that's a bit, you see, the networking, runs through me blood really. You kind of think, who can I introduce now to these people, selling them? And
that is so, so important, because if you're thinking of coming along and you think, am I getting real value for money? 100%, you just need one good connection. And
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, return on investment.
Absolutely.
Return on investment. ROI, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, all right, the prices have gone up a bit now and restaurants are finding it a bit tough, I'd say. They are, prices of fuel and all that sort of stuff. But, our events range from, I think, about £30 to £35. And I mean, we get the restaurant to ourselves.
Exclusive.
So and there's obviously the cost of the meal and then the organising of everything else that goes with it. So, for 35 quid, if you can get one or two contacts out of it,
the food's
nice. So the restaurants that we go into, they're the top end, not Salim. We're not. With respect to smaller establishments, we try and, because we're bringing in professional services.
Absolutely.
I want people to go and say, this is a nice restaurant, this food's good.
And there's never it's never there. Don't have breakfast, people. Bring our daughter.
Yeah. It's, it has changed a bit, but the one in London, they basically, and I know it's different in the transportation, they can get the underground and things, but after the London Curry Club, people stay about an hour.
Yeah.
And then we go across to, like a place where I play darts, the Flight Club.
Oh, nice. Yeah, there is one of them.
It's one in Manchester.
And it's an extended then networking. And at that point, you're chatting to people at the bar, you're in a team playing darts with them. And, it's sometimes, when I was leaving, I was getting leaving this Flight Club at 20 to 8 in the evening to get the 9:20 back to Manchester.
But the feedback for the Chinese. So, whilst I've got two experts here, can I ask a question? Hannah, what is the secret to good networking? What's a good networker?
I think networking, it's the key for me, I always think, is just getting face-to-face with people. That's the whole point of networking, because people buy from people, and whatever you do, it doesn't, it could be a new kitchen, for example. You get 3 quotes, they're all about the same. You're going to buy from the person that you connect with the best, the one you've got, even if it's not the cheapest, the cheapest price. And I always think people buy from people. And with networking, I think that's what you do. You get to make those connections with people that you don't get over the phone, even over Zoom. Just relaxing with somebody and just chatting. It doesn't have to be chatting about business as well. You can chat about anything in life, holidays, the kids, family shit, anything like that. It's just making that connection with that person. And if you're not there networking, if you're not out putting yourself out there, then other people are doing that. And you are then, you're playing catch up then with those people that are putting themselves out there and getting in front of people.
And those people who are naturally good at network, because I'm here with 2 seasoned pros here leaving area. So people who were a bit nervous.
Yeah, there's always, I know you said, Steve, you said before, didn't you? There's that very quick introduction, which I think you do need at networking. But there are people that that just don't like that. But you don't have to come in and do a full speech on yourself. You can literally say, I'm Hannah from Scene in Knutsford. That can be this is what I do or whatever. Because I think sometimes, you're always going to get those people that are more confident than others. But what I liked about the Curry Club was it was so really relaxed. There was no expectation from anybody. Everybody was so warm and welcoming. And also, there's always going to be people there that feel the same way as you do. Yes, there's going to be the confident ones and the ones that know people, but there's always going to be somebody who it's a new networking event for them. They don't particularly like meeting, or they're a bit nervous about meeting new people, should I say. But the more you do it, the more confident you get with it as well. I think that's the main thing.
Here's one for you, a final one. those networking people who love to talk about themselves and just themselves and nobody else, and here's my card. How do you deal with those people?
Yeah, we're all a bit too polite, really, aren't we? So, yeah, I think. Sometimes.
Do you know any of these?
But well, no, I have been to networking events where I have got, I wouldn't say stuck with people, because I just love people. I love chatting to people. I love finding out about people. That's just me. And but yeah, sometimes you do get to a point sometimes with people where you actually think, okay, I've been talking to you for half an hour. We're not going to do business together. As much as you're a lovely person, I need to move on. But that's where I think the Curry Club format is really good, because you have that hour, and you have to very politely say, lovely to meet you. I'm just going to go and chat to so-and-so. Or, if you've got your list, you can see, I need to speak to this.
Is that your exit? Lovely to meet you.
Lovely.
See you later.
Yeah. And also, obviously, then you can sit down at lunch and ideally sit with the feet around the away, but the others. Oh, you don't say that, because it's time I go. It's time I go. People go, where's she? Good Hannah. Who does she not want to speak to, because she's gone to the other end of the table?
Be me then, I think.
Yeah, you
Guys, over there, father.
I mean, waving at you down the end of the table, yeah. All right, boys. But yeah, there is. You're always going to get that, but that's where because there are some networking events I've been to, and you network sitting down, which I don't enjoy, because then you are sat with the same people all the time. I do like the being able to move around, but then having, being able to sit down and also I think everyone relaxes over lunch as well a bit more. It sort of feels less formal, doesn't it? Where, you're all passing around the poppadoms and the different dishes that come out. So again, that's the social side of it.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I get asked is, like a sponsor might say, there might be a firm of lawyers. They might say, "Is there, any other lawyers coming? Can we keep them out?"
Yeah.
But do you know what? I say it's up to you if you want to do that. But you might be able to do some business with them. And over the years, it's proven that actually, there might be an accountant and an accountant, but one does one element of accounting, one does the... And I've actually seen them passing each other business. I'm glad I met you.
Absolutely.
And so I say, I know that, when we were at Knutsford, I think there was a couple of IFAs there.
Yes, there were.
And just by chance, they got sat next. Do you know what? I said to them, have you got on, lads? And they said, great, you're there. So, actually, I probably can use... in him or her or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't think you can preclude anybody from coming.
No.
But, I mean, I think we've got a reasonably good blend of people that come from different professions.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah. Okay, well, we could talk forever, couldn't we? I think Jack's going to need his studio back.
Zach, we can go now. Cut.
Yes, okay. So, just rounding up, that's first podcast for the Curry Club. And it's been delightful to have my guests with me today. So Hannah from Knutsford
Thank you,
and
Bab.
Salim from Glossy.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Thank you very much.